Hey, what's up traders? This is Dave. For quite a long time, I didn't do any video on here on the TradingView, but it's time to change it. So let's get into it. And in this first video, after quite a long time, I want to break down for you this trade, which I have taken this week, right? So this is the analysis where I was expecting the price to drop lower into this FPG and the liquidity on this level. And that's where I was expecting the price to react and go higher, right? As you can see, it's happening right now. And I'm actually, in most of my posts, I'm updating what's going on, right? So you can see I have entered in here. Then the trade was developing. I took partial profits above the previous day's highs. It's important. And also currently I'm expecting the price to continue higher. So what I want to do right now is to show you completely this trade idea, how I came into it from the scratch, right? So you take just maybe 5 minutes to see how it goes, right? So always I start on the higher time frame, right, which is weekly for me, and I'm looking for where the price is going and where from, right? So we can see that it's reacting somewhere in here, right? And we can see that the price has break these highs, right? So these highs were broken in here, where the price has initiated this move. It was down here, right? From down here after taking the liquidity in here and reaction on this previous order block, or in other words, demand zone. It depends what you use. It can be also the support. I'm using the order blocks, right? It's the word which is fixed in my brain, so I'm using it. So from here, it's an initial move, right? So quite strong level for me. So I just drawing the line, which is my order block. I don't need this one, right? So I'll clear it. So we can see we have a reaction in here on this weekly order block, and price has made what in here? It's a swing low, right? Because we have the close, and then higher close, right? So it's a potential reversal formation in here. Where we could go next? Into the next weekly level, right? What would be next weekly level? We are still on the weekly time frame, and we are looking for the up candle. Where was the shorts accumulated to break the lows, right? Which ones is that? These lows were broken in here, right? Where is the last up candle before this sell-off started to happen, right? It could be this one, but I call this like kind of a build-up, which I do not want to explain right now. But in my opinion, it's this candle, right? And we're using it from that open, right? So this is where we could potentially go, right? So this is our bearish order block or the demand zone, or simply support, right? Because if we extend the price to the left, you will see that it's mostly the level which is somehow respected, right? So it really doesn't matter if you're using this word or that word or whatever, right? It's just a level. So we are coming from here after taking this liquidity, and then we potentially could go higher. So we have a room for another maybe 150 pips before something starts to happening, right? So let's go to the lower time frame, to the daily. This is what I want to see in here, right? And right now we are looking for what? We are looking for the change in order flow, which is happening when the last down candle is closed above. And I am not counting these pin bars. This is the big bulky candle which is dropping down, where these machines, these high frequency trading machines, has been selling and creating the buy orders, right? So once we close above, right, which has happened in here, and I will use the green one, right? In that moment, it's change in order flow for me, and we are coming from the weekly level into potentially next weekly level, which is higher from here, right? So obviously it doesn't mean that I could enter immediately. I could, right? But I would have to put quite bigger stop loss, and it doesn't give me a nice risk reward, right? So then we're looking to trade it on the lower time frame, right? So we have the bias, we know where we go in, and we want to position ourselves on that opportunities, right? So for me, this level is the order block, and we can see as the price has moved higher, then it dropped lower, and we getting reaction in here. But right now on this, you probably don't see something which is in here, and it's the gap, right? If you focus a little bit on this candle close, where should next candle open? In the price level where the previous candle closed, right? So it should be in here. but it has opened in here, right? So what is that? Sorry, in here, right? So what is this? This is a gap, right? So I'm drawing the gap in here and it will be level for me. So this is a gap, right? And I'm extending it into the right side, right? Oh, this is gap. Right now, when we drop to the lower time frame, we will see it much better. Let's go to the 4 hours right now. Yeah, you see the gap. Now, this is very important. Many people are doing the mistakes in the drawing the gaps because they will simply draw it from this wick into this wick, but it's wrong. The gap has occurred from this close until this open, right? So be careful with that because it can confuse you and will not give you a proper levels, right? So that's important. Let me delete this. We don't need this anymore right now. So at this moment, we have the potential level, right? The week was opening in here with the small gap again, right? Right now we have the Trump and he is saying a lot of things. So gaps will be again in the markets, right? So let's go back to the daily. And I'm always looking for a CLS range, which is a big candle for me, right? And look, we are coming again from the level and creating new level. Why is this actually a new level from where we could expect a reaction? Because we again created a new high in here, right? And then it's a correction. Correction into where, right? So if I am right now on the daily, I need to drop to the 1 hour, which is a correct time frame alignment for the daily. And right now, I need to draw a dealing range. From where? From the price, from the level where the price actually took a liquidity and rejected the low. So it's this one, right? This low was rejected. And from here, I am drawing this, and it's going to be my dealing range, right? You can see this is a 50% in here of this swing. So what I want to do, basically, this dealing range, I want to separate it for the, of course, premium and discount. You probably already heard this, right? So I want to trade in the discount. I'm waiting until the price comes to the discount, right? And discount into where? If you focus on the candle, which has been breaking from the discount to the premium. Now remember this and backtest this because you will see this happening very often. If you focus on that candle that made this switch, then that low of that candle mostly will be violated. That is a liquidity. You will see that on my charts very often if you go through them right now. And this low is where the price is coming for the liquidity. You can see how it's giving us the exact level where it will top. And we have also what? Confirmation of this gap, and it's 50%. This is our level, right? This is where we want to trade, right? Now, if I play the replay, which I do not want to do, but let's imagine week was opening in here. So what I'm doing when the week is opening, right? Let me bring this my chart back again in here. And you can see in here, the week was opening and I basically have my level. I had this liquidity. You can see I knew it before it happened, right? That the price will go there and it will react in there on this FVG midpoint and also the order block midpoint, right? Now let's look. You see they tapped exactly into this level and then they are returning back into the range. Now I'm going to show you how to find this range, right? So again, we don't need this line, right? That's where the week was opening, or actually let's use it, right? So week has opened in here, right? Here you can see Friday, Sunday, Monday, 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 Monday close, then Tuesday occurring, right? Let's go to the daily. Now we want to find out a CLS range. What is CLS and how this company operates? I always post in my descriptions of the charts, right? Here on the trading, so you can read about it or just Google it, right? Here, this big candle, it says our CLS range, right? Which I had spot in that analysis, right? So what we are looking for, what is our job, is to wait for the manipulation of that CLS range, reaction on the key level and in the liquidity, which is happening in here, and then change in the order flow, right? Same as I told you in here, that we have the change in the order flow where the candle, this down candle was closed above. Same thing we are looking for in here. right? But in here, we have another confirmation. We have the, again, this was the Monday open, and we have also the Monday range, right? So let me do it like this. Let me change the color for the Monday range to this one. It's visible, right? Let's go to the 1 hour, because if we're trading the daily range, we need to trade from the 1 hour, right? And we are here. We can see the Monday has closed in here, right? Then you have the Tuesday, it's opening. This is the night, this is Asia. During the Asia price is dropping, right? And then you can see the price drops lower. Big candle, big down candle, right? And now we are waiting for the same thing again. We are waiting for the change in order flow. So we want to see a candle close above this last down candle in here, right? So this is our change in order flow, or in other words, order block has been created. In that moment, watch the time. It's a 9 o'clock, right? This candle occurs at 10 o'clock, right? 10 a.m. set, right? Set is a Central European time. As I always put it in here, right? This is where the CLS operations are happening at the 10 o'clock, between 8 and 10. But at the 10, they are mostly ready to move the market, right? So let's go back. In here, you can see 10 o'clock, right? This candle is closing above this last down one, which is dipping below this low, sucking more people into the sell, creating the change in the order flow. And now the candle is closing above. So this is signal for us that we should go long. That's the model number 1, right? After this candle close, you know, you can try to be perfect doing this, but sometimes it will not return, right? So you can enter in here, and now your stop loss in here should be safe. But what I always do is I always put a little bit lower, right? Because what mostly happens is that price goes lower and it tests this low, just like that, right? And then it goes higher. I have backtested this, and I know based on my data that it's worth for me to put the stop loss a little bit lower, right? Then what I am targeting, right? Of course that the price could go up into this weekly order block, right? But I know myself, I know my brain and my trading psychology. I know that the price might go there, will make some pullback in here. That's what I'm fine with it. But in here, it can make bigger pullback and something like that. So I'm not interested in this. I have my trading plan, and I'm targeting this range high, right? This CLS range high, right? But always what I need to do is to take the partials. Partials where? On the 50% of this CLS range, or in here, right? This is where I took partial yesterday because it was above a previous day high, right? And in here, somewhere closely, I took the partial, right? Because it was before the night and I was going to sleep, right? That I sleep much better when I take the partial, right? So you can see I took partial in here, just right below this CLS range 50%, right? That's what I'm fine with it, right? So somewhere close here. Right now, what could happen, right? Well, basically the price could continue higher, or once we reach the 50% of the CLS range, which is happening right now in here, we could get a potential setup for the model number 2. What will be model number 2, right? Basically nothing else than just a Fibo, right? So I'm taking Fib from this low to this high, right? And model number 2, right? So you can see I get these lines in here, and let me delete this one, right? Basically the trade is running, I still have it. I will then post the results, and this is where I would like to be interested to trade, right? Between these two lines, right? This is where I need to find the level. The level could be actually this edge of that CLS range, right? It could possibly test this edge and then go higher. That's the best entry, right? But not happening every time, right? So right now we need to find a level between these two lines. So let's go to 4 hours, because I never trade the levels from the 1 hour, right? So in here, 4 hours, we can see these consecutive candles dipping into the liquidity and then price closing above them. What is that? That is again our order block, right? So from here, it's actually a order block. But do I want to enter up here let's measure, right? Again, we can put this, what is that? Our dealing range, right? So what does it mean? This means that if I enter in here, I would be buying in the premium. I don't want to do that. I want to be buying in the discount. So below this low, right? Right now I need to drop a lower time frame to find my candle which broke through that midpoint, through that 50% of this one, right? Which would be somewhere in here, right? And what you can see, interestingly, is that basically, and it's a liquidity for me, right? And we can delete this, right? And we can see that that potential level should be somewhere between these two lines. And if we count also with this liquidity, it should be somewhere in here, right? So let's go to the 4 hours and what we will see, right? Look. So we have these consecutive candles. This is where the order block is created. Right now, I'm taking this and I will measure 50% of these candles, right? And green, right? And you can see this is my level, right? So potentially what could happen, where I would be interested to re-enter if the price drops lower, but I think that it's not going to happen, I could be entering the model number 2, which would be like this, right? And this is it. Model number 1 is which you entering immediately. Model number 2, you entering this pullback, right? There's also model number 3, and I got also the model number 0, which is my kind of secret and which I'm developing. But that's it. This is simple mechanical strategy, and it's still repeating on every time frame, every market, over and over. Bye bye, my friends.